My family. So King Charles, as you all know, has sent his minions, his courtiers, to speak to Robert Hartman on his behalf, whereby they're trying to rewrite how they treated Harry and Meghan, which was appallingly. The firm is busy trying to rewrite history. And my family, right now, they're saying this, and I quote, according to Robert Hartman, he says, and I quote, from what he's been told by Charles and his people, and I quote, that some of those very same officials had tried to give both Harry and Meghan extra support during their brief royal existence. And that it was Clive, now Sir Clive ALDERTON, the private secretary to King Charles, who said that if we could get this right for Prince Harry, we would be creating a blueprint for future younger sons for generations. You know? And that Clive said Harry and Meghan need more staff. My family, right now we can see how King Charles, how his people are trying to push this narrative that they somehow try to support Harry and Meghan as much as they could, which is a lie. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. And once again, thank goodness. Thank goodness for Prince Harry's memoir spare. Because without it, some people would believe everything that they are being fed, which is lies from the palace, lies from senior members of the royal family as they try to control the narrative that they lost when Prince Harry and Meghan did the Oprah interview, when Prince Harry and Meghan did the Harry and Meghan documentary, and when Harry did Spare. What we are seeing is UK media jumping up and down saying, Harry and Meghan, don't you dare write or tell your story ever again. We've had enough. But deep down inside, they want Harry and Meghan to keep talking. However, whenever Harry and Meghan decide to share their experiences, we all can see how the attacks on Harry and Meghan, mostly Meghan, drastically escalate. You know? And my family, from what we are seeing, the farm wants Harry and Meghan quiet by all means, but UK media, deep down inside, they don't. And the farm, what they want is to rewrite the narrative. But there's one problem. There's one problem. Harry's memoir spare. That's the one thing that is keeping the farm and UK media from being able to rewrite history, from being able to control the narrative. My family, I can tell you, as someone who has read Harry's memoir spare, it is clear Harry and Meghan were not being supported. It is clear that Meghan was being fed to the wolves, the UK tabloid media, who attacked her, abused her, insulted her, my family, which they, UK media, keep on doing even to this day. They refuse to leave Harry and Meghan alone. And my family, do you also know that senior palace courtiers felt so emboldened to the point that they were lying to the Queen herself when she was alive? And And my family, according to Boris Johnson, he claims that the Queen had cancer. Now, my family, of course, I can't confirm this. I can't. I can't confirm this. However, it is clear, one thing here is clear, that before the Queen passed away, someone else was running the show, and that person was Charles himself. And my family, I'm gonna prove to you some of these things. And I'm gonna use Prince Harry's words to open your eyes, to open your mind, and see what I can see. It is clear that before the Queen passed away, months or years before she passed away, it is clear that other people were running the show. My family, first of all, let me start by reading you how a senior palace courtier was lying to the Queen right to her face. My family, you know? And my family, we all know that Prince Harry used code names to describe palace courtiers. And my family, let me just reveal to you the names, the actual names of this my family palace courtiers that Prince Harry used. Now, my family, the B is a code name for Queen Elizabeth II's private secretary called Sir Edward Young, my family, who King Charles rewarded right after the Queen passed away. Maybe because Edward Young did Charles favors, my family, who Charles rewarded after, the Queen passed away. Now, my family, basically, Edward Young was made a life payer. He was made a lord. My family, he was made, a lord in waiting to the king, by King Charles. That's the reward that Edward Young was given after my family, the Queen, passed away. He was made a life peer. And he was awarded the honors of GCB and GCVO and appointed to the role of permanent lord in waiting to the king, my family. That's the reward for him being used to sabotage Harry&Meghan. That's the reward of him being used to my family go after my family, Prince Harry and also Meghan. Now, my family, let me read you, even, for example, what Harry said about, this person, the B called Sir Edward Young. And also, my family, the other person is the Wasp. Now, my family, basically, the Wasp is Sir Clive Alderton, my family, who was the then, Charles' private foreign secretary. And now he is King Charles, private secretary of my family. Once again, he continues to be rewarded, Now, my family, let me read you, what Harry said about them. First of all, when trying to, call out the abuse that Meghan was receiving at the hands of the UK media on orders of senior members of the royal family like William, Charles, K. Camilla. Now, my family, let me read you what Harry said in Spare. And I quote, number one, about the racism that Meghan experienced, And I quote, all the mail complaining that Meghan could not keep her hands off her baby bump. That she was rubbing it as if she were a succubus. Things had got so out of hand that 72 women in parliament from both main parties had condemned the core colonial undertones of all newspaper coverage of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Yet none of these things have merited one comment, public or private, from my family, I knew how they all, rationalized what was happening, saying that he was not different from what Camilla got or Kate, but it was different. One study looked closely at 400 vile tweets about Meghan, employing a team of data specialists and computer analysts. The study found that this avalanche of hate was wildly atypical, light years from anything that was ever directed towards Camilla and Kim Moulton. A tweet calling Meghan, I can't mention this, it's to my family racist, had no historical precedent or equivalent. And this wasn't about hurt feelings or bruised egos. Hate had physical effects. There was a ton of science showing how unhealthy it is to be publicly hated and mocked. Meanwhile, the wider societal effects were even scarier. Were even my family, scarier. Certain kinds of people are more susceptible to hate and also incited by hate. And also they are, my family, incited by it. Hence, the package of suspicious white powder that have been sent to our office with a disgusting racist note attached. I looked at Granny, looked around the room, reminded them that Meghan and I have been coping with a wholly unique situation and doing it all by ourselves. And our dedicated staff was too small. I repeat Harry's own words. Our staff was too small, too young, and grossly underfunded. I repeat, our staff was too small, too young, and grossly underfunded. My family, thank goodness for spare. Because, my family, without Harry's words, these narratives are what are going to be written down in history books. A narrative full of extreme lies. But thanks to Prince Harry and Meghan's Oprah interview, thanks to Prince Harry and Meghan's documentary on Netflix, thanks to Harry's memoir Spare, no matter how many times the firm tries to rewrite history, my family, it is very, very difficult. And right now we are seeing them trying to do that, rewrite history, on how they treated Meghan, on how they treated Prince Harry, by saying now that somehow, according to Charles' private secretary, that he wanted, to get things right for Prince Harry. He wanted to create a blueprint for future younger sons, for generations. My family, what they are doing here is that they are trying to tell the public that they tried to help out Harry and Meghan, which is a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. And the firm's own actions prove that they are lying. For example, they have never even once condemned the bullying, the racism that Meghan has experienced at the hands of UK media and even from senior members of the royal family. Not once have the firm, William, Charles, Kate, Camilla, ever condemned the racism that Meghan has been subjected to. Not even once. And Camilla claims that she's fighting, or she's a campaigner, against violence towards women. It's quite weird because Camilla herself put Diana through so much hell and suffering. Camilla herself, her friend Jeremy Clarkson, who she parties with, wrote a vile column about Meghan, but right now they're saying, we tried our best to support Harry and Meghan. My family, there's a reason why we talk about these things. Because if we don't, we are allowing the farm, we are allowing William and Charles to rewrite history. We are allowing King Charles' minions to rewrite history. We are allowing, my family, King Charles people, like Sir Clive Alderton, my family, to rewrite history. And my family, we can't allow them to do that. We cannot. We just can't. We can't. Here they're saying that they wanted to give Harry and Meghan more staff. And yet, in spare, Harry tells us, and I quote, our staff was too small, too young, and grossly underfunded. But UK media, you know what? We tried to help Harry and Meghan. The farm, the palace tried to help out Harry and Meghan. My family, we can't allow them to lie. We cannot allow them to lie. We just can't, and we won't let them lie. I repeat, we won't let them lie. We will not. And they're going to lie in peace about Harry and Meghan. We are not going to allow them to lie in peace about Harry and Meghan. We are not. We are not. And my family, basically, my family, it is said this. Let me just, my family, say more on what Harry said. The B, my family, nickname my family, the B, as Harry said in spare. His name, my family, is Sir Edward Young. And the Wasp, my family, who is Sir Clive Alderton, my family, who is now currently even Charles' private secretary, my family, harumphed and said, we should have let it be known that we were under-resourced. Let it be known. I said I begged them repeatedly, all of them. And one of our top ADs had sent in pleas as well, multiple times. Granny looked directly at the bee and the wasp. Is this true? And the bee looked her in the eye. And with the wasp nodding vigorously, Innocent said, Your Majesty, we never received any of these requests for support. They lied to the Queen, lied to her. My family lied to her. And now look at my family where Edward Young, aka the Bee, and the Wasp, aka Sir Clive Alderton, look at my family, how they have been rewarded. Sir Edward Young, my family, has been given, my family, a life, has been made a peer for life, my family. Sir Edward Young, my family, has been made a life peer, my family. He has been appointed to the role of permanent Lord in waiting to the King. Sir Clive Alderton, my family, Sir Clive Alderton, who was the then private secretary to the King, my family, then Prince of Wales at the time, Charles, is now, my family, continues to be King Charles' private secretary. They have been rewarded for putting Harry and Meghan through so much struggles, and now they're saying, oh, you know what? We tried to support Harry and Meghan. Thank goodness for spare. Thank goodness for spare. Because if it were not for spare, my family, there are things that the farm and UK media would lie to us about. Even the thing is, they are still lying to us. But the good thing, my family, is spare. Whereby you can just read, my family, you can just read spare, and my family get the whole accurate truth. And the truth is, Harry and Meghan have indeed been treated appallingly by the UK media and even by senior members of the royal family. The truth is, my family, Harry and Meghan, as Harry said himself, their staff was too small, too young, and also grossly underfunded. Grossly underfunded. Because the firm wanted to ensure that there is no way that Harry and Meghan were ever able to defend themselves from all the attacks that were being waged against them by UK media, who are simply following the orders of William and Charles when they were attacking Meghan in particular. But today, my family, Charles and his minions want to rewrite history and say, oh, you know what? We wanted to give Harry and Meghan more staff to support them. A bunch of nonsense. A bunch of nonsense. A bunch of nonsense, my family. A bunch of nonsense. Actually, on my family basically issue on support, already we have determined that these people lied to the Queen, lied to her face. My family. So let me even read you more, my family, on what Prince Harry and family said in Spare, my family. So when courtiers, who my family clearly were following Charles' orders before the Queen passed away, they were clearly following everything they were told by Charles. My family, when courtiers say that, oh, you know what, we tried to support Meghan, we tried to support Prince Harry, my family, they were actively sabotaging Harry and Meghan. They were not supporting Harry and Meghan. My family, let me read you something in Spare that proves to all of you that Harry and Meghan were never ever supported. And no matter how much Harry and Meghan tried to seek for help, it is clear that my family, palace courtiers, senior members of the royal family, were unwilling to help both Harry and Meghan. And my family, I can't think of a more perfect example than what Harry and my family say in Spare. So let me read you this, what Harry wrote in Spare, and I quote, I had a long tea with Granny just before she left for Balmoral. I gave her a recap, all the latest. She knew a bit, but I was filling in important gaps. And she looked shocked. Appalling, she said. She vowed to send the bee, my family, Edward Young, to talk to us. I spent my life dealing with courtiers, scores of them, but now I dealt mostly with just 3, all middle-aged white men who managed to take power through a series of bold Machiavellian maneuvers. They had normal names, exceedingly British names, but they thought more easily into zoological categories: the bee, the fly, and the wasp. The bee was oval-faced and fuzzy and tended to glide around with great equanimity and poise, as if he was a boon to all living things. He was so poised that people did not fear him. Big mistake. Sometimes their last mistake. The fly, my family, who was Prince William's, then private secretary, Simon Case, had spent much of his career adjacent to and indeed drawn to SHIT. The awful of government and media, the wormy entrails, he loved it, grew fat on it, rubbed his hands in glee over it, though he pretended otherwise. He strove to give off an air of casualness, of being above the fray, coolly efficient and ever helpful. The wasp was lanky, charming, arrogant, a ball of Jersey energy. He was great at pretending to be polite, even servile. You'd assert a fact, something seemingly incontrovertible. I believe the sun rises in the mornings, and it's stammer that perchance you might consider for a moment possibility that you'd been misinformed. Well, I don't know about that, Your Royal Highness, you see. It all depends what you mean by mornings, sir. Because it seems so witty, so self-effacing, you might be tempted to push back, insist on your point, And that was when he put you on his list. A short time later, without warning, he'd give you such a stab with his outsized finger, you'd cry out in confusion. You know, where did that come from? I dislike these men, and they did not have any use for me. You know, above all, they knew how I saw them as usurpers. Deep down, I feared that each man felt himself to be the one true monarch, that each was taking advantage of a queen in her 90s, or in her 90s, you know, says Prince Harry, enjoying his influential position while merely appearing to serve. I'd come to the conclusion, though, through cold, hard experience. For instance, Meghan and I consulted with the WASP, my family, King Charles' own, private secretary right now, about the press. And it agreed that the situation was just abominable, that it needed to be stopped before someone got hurt. Yes, you get no argument from us on that. He said that the palace, should convene a summit of all the major editors and make our case to them. Finally, I say to Meghan, someone gets it. We never heard from him again. But they say, oh, you know what? We try to help out, Prince Harry. We try to help out Meghan. We try to help them. We try to help them. My family, we must never ever allow people like this just lie to us. We can't. We can't allow them to lie. We just cannot allow them to lie. And then Harry says, so I was skeptical when Granny offered to send us the bee, Sir Edward Young. But I told myself to keep an open mind. Maybe this time will be different. Because this time, Granny was dispatching him personally. Days later, Meg and I welcomed, Edward Young into Frogmore, made him comfortable in our new sitting room, offered him a glass of rose, gave a detailed presentation. He took meticulous notes, frequently putting a hand over his mouth and shaking his head. He'd seen the headlines, he said, but he had not appreciated the full impact this might have on a young couple. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. And their goal was one thing, breaking Meghan, breaking Harry and Meghan's marriage. It's still their goal, even to this day, my family. But thank goodness that they haven't succeeded. And I hope they never ever succeed in destroying Harry and Meghan's union. They knew what they were doing, and they knew the impact it was causing. But they pretended like they don't know the impact. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. Because they were the ones who were busy inciting hatred against Meghan. They were the ones who were busy abusing Meghan. And my family, their actions are utterly despicable. But remember this, my family. They did what they did because they had the full blessings of Charles and William. And that's why, even after the Queen passed away, they were rewarded. My family, let me continue with what my family is being said. Now, this deluge of hate and lies was unprecedented in British history. Sir Edward Young, aka the Bee, said, my family. And he said it was disproportionate to anything that he's ever seen. Thank you, he said. Thank you for saying it. He promised to discuss the matter with all the necessary parties and get back to us soon with an action plan, a set of concrete solutions. We never heard from him again. My family. So I say this. The Queen, years or months before she passed away, it was clear that there was someone else who was making the decision. And that person was Charles. That person in my family was Charles. That person in my family was Charles. And my family, let's watch my next video. Because my family, I was going to talk about this right now, but you know what? I'll say this for the next video. Because I want you to watch the next video, whereby I show you all that indeed it was Charles who was running the show before the Queen passed away. It was Charles who was running the show before the Queen passed away. To my family, all this nonsense about, oh, we helped Harry, oh, you are going to help Meghan, all this nonsense is all a bunch of lies. It's nonsense. It is lies. They were never supporting Harry and Meghan. They were never, my family, supporting them, my family, giving them, more stuff. They never ever did that. They never ever did that. When the Queen asked even them about my family, they lied. They lied and told the Queen that no requests were made by Prince Harry and Meghan that they needed more staff. And they knew they were lying. They knew they were lying, but they knew that they had the full backing of Charles, my family. So my family, Charles and William played a huge role in trying to destroy and break Harry and Meghan. And they still are playing a huge role in trying to destroy and break Harry and Meghan, even to this day. And my family, even right now as we speak, they are trying to rewrite history into how my family, how Harry and Meghan were treated. And we are not going to allow that. We are not going to allow them to keep on lying, my family. We are not. So thank goodness for Harry's memoir spare, my family, which is a treasure trove of information, my family. Thank goodness. Because now the fam just can't lie about Harry and Meghan in peace. And we are not going to allow Charles, William, or Kate, or Camilla to rewrite history. We are not. Now, my family, I want to hear your opinion on what we have just discussed. May God bless Harry, Meghan, Archie, and also Lilibet, Diana, and Doria Raglan. And all of you members, God at home, may never wins, love wins, and stay tuned to the next video. Love you all forever, and may no weapon formed against Harry, Meghan, Archie, and also Lilibet, Diana, my family, ever prosper. My family, please kindly stay tuned to this video. Love you all forever, and may no weapon formed against Harry, Meghan, Archie, and also Lilibet, Diana, my family, ever prosper. My family, right now we are seeing the farm, William and Charles trying to rewrite history into how they treated Harry and Meghan. They are trying to present themselves as people who tried to help them, but somehow it was Harry and Meghan's fault. My family, the fact is Harry and Meghan were treated appallingly. And there's no excuse. Nothing can ever justify the kind of bullying, hate, insults we have seen both Harry and Meghan, more so Meghan, be subjected to. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can justify what we'll be seeing happening to Meghan. Nothing. And right now, I want to hear your opinion on what we have just discussed, my family. The farm, William and Charles never ever supported Meghan. Don't let them fool you and don't let them lie to you. My family, please kindly stay tuned to this video. Love you, awesome forever, and may God bless you, my family. The only one who supported Meghan was Prince Harry. Both Harry and Meghan have always supported each other, and I pray and hope that they always continue to support each other. My family, please kindly stay tuned to this video. Love you, awesome forever, and may God bless you all. Hello, members of Didntsupport Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending out your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Didntsupport Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great day, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.